Talk to the
What's
people
going
today.
on? Been a
Yes.
couple of weeks. Last week I had to do a community thing. You got to stay active in the community.
Yes, we do got to stay active in
Yeah.
the community. We got a lot going
So,
on in the community.
so it's good to be here tonight.
Yes. I'm excited.
Yeah, we
We
have
got some good news.
some interesting topic tonight, and also some interesting news. I'm just gonna put it like that.
Yes.
Some great things have been happening with the company. So,
You didn't say it a little bit more exciting than that. Like, that didn't even sound exciting.
we have
Like,
some great things
okay, you need
going
to
on
mix
with
it
the
up.
company. And man, it's causing some lateral movement, but it's
Yes.
forward lateral. So, yeah, we
We've
have.
had an exciting, fulfilling week. It caused me a delay with my posting, but you know what? I got it in. I got it in on Thursday. I talked about cannabis stocks. And I had a lot of good responses because people are really curious about investing into cannabis. So I think I had a pretty good conversation. I don't know. What do y'all think? I didn't hear nothing back, so maybe that was good.
But that's good that you are introducing the people to cannabis stocks because it does have a place in our future. What people have to understand is that you want to educate yourself properly about what you're investing in because stocks are 100% risk, and you don't want to be taking your hard-earned money putting it into a stock that you know nothing about.
Well, that or you take too much money that you can't afford to not having your budget, and
Right. Well,
now
that's
you're going back withdrawing and getting penalties.
right, and that's why it's important to take the time to do the research and develop a strategy. Don't just start throwing your money in it because you got a little change. Have a strategy, and a lot of
Strategy?
strategy.
And do your research.
Yeah.
That's the main thing is researching these companies because you want to make sure that their financials. That's you want to make sure their financials is up to par. That's the first thing. Like you want to make sure
Sure.
what they say they're making, they're making.
Yeah. And then another thing is you have to understand the impact that investing in stock will have on your taxes. You also have to understand the time frame when you are investing in stock. That sometimes it can be a short term gain or it can be a long term gain. So there are a lot of factors that go into investing. So educate yourself, do your research, and make sure that you are investing your money wisely.
Or give it to me and I'll help you invest it wisely. Yeah, I'll invest it for you. Just yeah, we'll take that on over. So let's talk about CBD in sports because there was a big announcement that came out this week about the UFC teams and how the Aurora Cannabis they did a study on the fighters and how they are now so so I guess my big question is why.
Well, the thing about it is a lot of sports, like when we look at the NFL, are starting to reconsider their approach to cannabis in general.
Right.
And I think with the big push for the legalization of hemp and its relationship to CBD, I think the sports world is ready to take a step in the direction that I think we need. We need like some big names in the cannabis space advocating for the right reasons.
Right.
So it looks like what they're doing is what's needed. They're doing a study, and
To
what better
see
sport to use
the
than
UFC,
UFC?
right? Because
So
they're using the pains and aches that they're getting to see if it would help aid in a better recovery. So and then the fact that MMA fighting is probably one of the more violent fights that's out there. Next to boxing, which I know they're also doing some studies, I believe, with people with head injuries. So
right,
it would be
right.
very interesting to see some of these research studies as they come out in regards to how cannabis is helping sports.
Right. So pretty much what's happening with it is they have 30 athletes that are interested in participating in the study.
Hmm.
So what they're doing is they're framing the study. That's the stage it's in now is they're framing the study and making sure that they're within it looks like FDA guidelines when it comes to researching using human subjects and researching with CBD.
Yeah, and then also I think the NFL and another organization also agreed to do the study, which the
NBA.
NFL, the NBA. Okay, yeah. So even with the NFL, if you look at football, I mean, dude, some of these injuries that if you have to look at, especially if you're looking at it from a health perspective, you have to look at how that can help these athletes in their recovery.
Especially
You
like
have
the
to.
concussions, because that's a number one injury. It seems like football players suffer are concussions. So, all right, that's what's up. So tonight we're gonna focus on cannabis and sports. So we'll go to a short music break. Stay tuned. Gringo Lounge, Texas 101 Jams. I call
Ooh, yeah.
it. We're gonna have to, man, tell y'all about our special guest.
Yeah.
He's sitting up here with the shades on.
Huh.
Look,
Oh, these are numbers.
look, he see me struggling with trying to get the article together.
I know,
He
he
gonna put
over
the
there.
shades on pose. I was like, whatever.
That's our numbers. Yeah. That's our number. So, guys, tonight, again, we're going to be having Mr. Donald with Spectra Strength Training is going to be in the house, and we're going to be talking about sports and cannabis. It's going to be a good conversation. So, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And we will also be making.
Oh, we wasn't on. I'm sorry.
What song is that? Yeah. Okay.
So Jerome, my website is up and running now.
What's the URL?
www.kob.clothier.com.
Okay. Get that.
See what that thing does.
That thing. Say 403 unknown.
For error code.
No.
For error code.
He's like,
Look at his face.
dude.
So, can you go see if
I ain't finished yet, so.
see,
I see what's going on with that picture.
can you call him back?
I don't have down no. But I ain't done with it, you know. I
Yeah, I
gotta
see
put
you
the
still
about us and
still working with it. So much
What?
You know what you be doing in your pictures?
What? Which picture you talking about?
Yo, about us picture. Oh shit.
You mean my about picture? The one I posted is what is a picture of me?
Yeah, no, it's a picture of you. I'm looking at the shoes now.
So it's up and running. I got my domain transferred from
Whatever, you
from
know.
GoDaddy to Weebly.
40
Weebly,
seconds.
That site right there is through Square because I already have the Square app. So they provide us an online store. So I just post all my shoes on there.
I feel like singing, y'all, for the show.
I tried. I gave him my all.
What's up, Mr. Clean?
15.
All right, and we're back.
It's a special guest.
You.
We're back. We're back.
Yes, we are back, and once again, it's on you. Listen to the Gringo Lounge on Texas101jams.com. Yes, man, we have had a very eventful summer.
Yes.
We've had.
You know what? Let's just do a recap for the people so they'll know the journey. We're gonna do that, y'all. We're gonna tell y'all, hey, yes, I am living my best life. We're gonna tell y'all our journey. How about that, Jerome? I think we should.
So
Like, just tell them how everything has progressed, because
this story starts in 19.
you gotta talk up. We can.
I'm talking to the mic. This story starts in 19.
What?
We are in the deserts of the Sahara. Start taking it back to the beginning.
So,
1929.
no, we have had such an eventful summer that, I mean, so
Starting in April.
April, we had the 420 event,
Right, the 420.
and we just busted that wide open. That was exciting.
Yes.
And then May, we had several radio shows back to back to back.
We were on this station, Shakers and Movers.
Movers and Shakers. We was on the
Movers and
Naked
Shakers.
Truth,
We was on Naked Truth, and then we were on Mocha Brown.
Mocha Brown Productions.
Brown Productions,
Say it.
and then said.
Said the Conscious Mind. Yeah, like we've had a lot of radio shows.
And then June came, boom. We had the Perfect Flower,
The Perfect Flower.
which was a success.
It was, isn't
And
it?
then turned around, came back, and then announced the fact that we have an October Perfect Flower in San Antonio.
Speak up, because I don't think they heard you good.
October tentative. Can we say the date?
Well, we got a date, so you might as well say the
26th and
date.
27th. It's a 2-day event. The first day will be workshop, seminar, it'll be intense. It's titled The Perfect Flower, Hemp Farming, Texas.
So, in case Jerome was talking a little low, I'm going to say it a little louder. So,
And the second day is Get High Day.
The first day is the workshop where we'll be taking a look at, knowledge that's important to put in practice.
For
So
hemp
the first,
farming.
right. So for the first day is theory and knowledge, and then day 2, the event is going to be an all-day, hands-on touring a farm, taking a look at the soil, the water, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so October the 26th through the 27th, the Perfect Flower will be in San Antonio for a 2-day workshop on hemp farming. So if any of you all are interested in getting information on hemp farming, how to get if you have some family properties, if you have some land that you don't know what to do with,
Oh,
call us and let
don't
us
wear
come-
red.
Call us and let us come out and help you look at your land and see what we got going on. So don't miss it. The Perfect Flower, the information is forthcoming, but we just wanted to give y'all a heads up.
Right. And always remember you can stay tuned at the website www.greenlife-consulting
It's 3 W's. You said 2.
www.greenlife-consulting.com.
You know, I missed you last weekend. That's what it was. I ain't had
I caught
nobody to
the-
pick
I
off.
caught the last 30 minutes of the show. It seemed like y'all had fun in Jamaica, and it seemed like they were having a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It
That's
was a
good.
lot of fun.
That's
So,
good.
so the other announcement that we have.
Hold on, wait.
No?
We gotta tell them about the CBD social.
Yes. So the Emerald Hempress will be hosting a CBD social, a Sunday CBD social on August the 18th, and it's going to be at the Circle of Peace Natural Hair Space from 4:20. Get it?
Right.
To 6:20, and you can go on to Eventbrite to register. I highly encourage you to not miss this event. There will be others, but this is the first one. So you know the first one is the best one, and then there's the rest of the other ones, right? The first one is always the best one, right? Yeah. So, and then also next Saturday I will be with Mr. Donald for Muscles and Mimosas with Spectra Strength Training. He will be doing an event at his location. So I, again, the Emerald Hempress will be there.
Yes, and don't forget about the Jamaica trip.
Yo, yes.
Don't forget about the Jamaica trip, because that right there, y'all, that's the one you really
Jamaica
don't wanna miss.
2020, April 2020, 420, we will be in Jamaica, and we will be doing our Ocean Grow education series. And listen, I just heard from the hotel today, and they have such an awesome itinerary plan for us for that event, so it is going to be awesome. So listen, y'all don't definitely want to miss that. There are payment options available, so no, you do not have to come up with all your money on the day, but there is a deposit that is required. So definitely do that. And then,
So go to the website, once again, www.greenlife-consulting.com, and the landing page will give you the information where you can register. All right, so make sure you check it out. So we're gonna go to a short commercial break, and we'll come back with the scene with the emerald.
I don't know. That feel like that just like something that come out my spirit. That just feel like something need to come. And tell these people to
Okay.
smoke some weed and go lift some weights.
Smoke weed, lift weights. I love it. That's
Smoke weed, lift weights.
That's a new T-shirt coming out. Smoke weed, lift weights.
Well, maybe not in order.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. Oh, actually, there's some athletes.
But
We'll
you
talk
know
about
what?
that.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, there's some athletes that do.
Yes.
that.
So y'all listen,
Yeah.
Mr. Donald is in the house with Spectra Fitness. If you guys want to get some good, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all how I met Mr. Donald. Out running heels. Me and my best friend. Oh, okay.
These bottles over here. I feel like I can't feel prepared. Yeah.
It's nothing.
All right.
It was what we took a hit today.
Like, you still running?
Shit just started back, man. I had
I did. And what happened? Don't fix it.
found out I had a heart problem.
Ah, man,
No,
what
because it was at the end, man.
Andrew, you might as well come for it.
Yeah, my mom has that.
And I had to, they had to put me on and shock my heart.
Yeah.
Put me back on rhythm. And then you better believe the medicine that I took,
Yeah.
it made me go from 230 to 236.
Also, it's a good way on you, right?
Yeah.
That's what's my
I wasn't
steroid.
big for it. No, it was a blood thinner medicine.
Oh, wow.
Shoot up, so now I've been like a
I know.
7 days.
Don't get after, man. That Balboa life.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Y'all get me in a box and a cage. I don't like that in no cage.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
I'm a spirit. I'm a
Thursday.
I'm an eagle.
Recycle it.
You can't keep me down. I'm already storing well.
Okay, you know something like that. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so
Eagle.
I ain't gonna talk about the town like that.
tonight we're gonna
Gotcha.
get to the last show. Next month, we gonna be doing
No, it's not. But hey, so I mean, it's a day-by-day process,
It's gonna be
right?
like we're gonna be like some Fridays we gonna miss. So what we doing is gonna try to go mobile.
Something about it, you feel sick, work out.
Like a boy.
Work out.
Work out.
What excuse you got? Work out. I was like, dude, are you talking to me? Yeah, get it done.
What's the name of that app?
Anchor.
Anchor.
Have you heard of that?
And then one of the girls that you got go to Spectrum.
And will it work like a podcast?
Hispanic chick.
Yeah. Let's smoke. Yeah.
And that's what streets.
That's what we're
She's
So
short.
we trying to get
He won't let me say it. He making me be quiet.
Long hair.
Oh my goodness.
Jennifer.
I think that's it, yeah.
Jennifer ain't Hispanic. Yeah, we was on the same team. She's like a straight up endurance athlete. She's like an endurance athlete / bodybuilder. It's
Yeah,
very
she
interesting
was on the same team with us. On Sugar Cycles.
Yeah, Jennifer.
Be extra tonight on your clothes. Mr. Jones said he was gonna talk to you about your clothes. You gonna talk to him? He said that's your time to shine.
Yeah, man. You got it.
I remember that's how I
Like how you be on the sideline.
Yeah, no, she's
Saying
serious.
your entry.
She
That same confidence.
Already.
Extra.
What's that extra?
We're gonna see.
This is the last one.
30 seconds.
I go step up.
So we bring this back
The sun is
on,
popping.
and then we'll allow you to introduce yourself.
Yeah. 20.
One thing with these is one directional mics. So
Yeah, so you got
Straight right into it. Gotcha.
it's a meter you'll be able to see.
About to go in. Get ready.
Yes, again, you are tuned into the Green Gold Lounge on Texas101jams.com. It's your boy Noob 16 with the little Hempress.
I just have tantrums, like.
She's going through some things right
I
now.
am.
She's
I'm going through.
sad because of this announcement.
Oh, I'm not sad.
This
I'm-
announcement she have to make.
It's an excitingly sad announcement.
Okay.
Uh,
Exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excitingly sad.
Well, why don't you introduce our guest?
So, Mr. Donald, let me tell you guys how I met Donald. Running heels in my neighborhood, me and my best friend. And yeah, and so we thought we was working out. So we looked over at him and he running these heels like it's nothing. So he came over and was like, hey, would y'all like to do some CrossFit? And I was like, what's CrossFit? He was like, well, come on a Saturday and it's free and try it out. And I paid for that free. That free cost me.
Yeah.
That free cost
Yeah,
me.
it's gonna always cost.
Yeah, but it was worth it. Like, and I went and I tried to maintain, but I will tell you this: when he works with you, he is very patient. He's very explaining. He does not give you more than you can handle. And what I like about it, it's not that aggressive. Come on, give me 15. Not like that.
Not the drill sergeant.
No, but
Yeah.
it's hype. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a hype and it's a competitive environment to where it's not like, I'm gonna try to beat you. It's more like, come on, let's go.
It's
And
like a
that's
fun hype.
different.
A fun hype.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's different because then it's more of a group effort.
Mhm.
And that's what made it fun. So I am so happy to introduce Mr. Donald with Special Strength Training.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
So tell the people how you got started. Tell us your story. And I'm proud to say he got a little Oklahoma back in too. So we're gonna talk.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So definitely from the great state of Oklahoma, born and raised off the east side of Oklahoma City. I found this entire world of CrossFit, strength conditioning, and whatnot. Honestly, I graduated from college. Didn't want to pay the expensive membership at a university.
Mhm.
I was just YouTubing how to do just random workouts out in the field with a tire, and YouTube kept saying CrossFit, I was like, okay, what is this?
Mhm.
And so once I read about it, I was like, it makes sense because I have an engineering background. I was like, okay, how they're talking about power, fitness, and all that stuff, I got it. And so what does it look like? So once I saw what it looked like, I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to train. It's
Right.
different every day. It's calculating. It fits my personality.
Mhm.
And
Yes, it
so
does.
I went into my local gym at the time, CrossFit Stillwater. Great friend Adam Kimberly, and from there that was it. I mean, that's pretty much how I've trained for the last almost 10 years of my life. I mean, it's pretty much
Wow.
been with that methodology of CrossFit.
Well, let me ask you this:
Sure.
Do you see CrossFit came about when you start having football players doing MMA training on off season and having other like athletes cross the
What is
training?
it a crossbreed of? I guess that's the question.
So-
What is it a cross, like, because CrossFit didn't just pop up.
Right.
You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Because
So-
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So essentially, CrossFit is a mixture of a few things, right?
Mhm.
First, they take in what's called metabolic conditioning, basically cardio. That's running, bike, swim, basic stuff.
Right.
Then they put an Olympic lifting base, right? That's a very particular style of lifting, clean and jerk, snatch, and things of that sort. Then they combine some elements of gymnastics, not all the crazy stuff you see at the Olympics, but things like muscle ups, push ups, pull ups, basic stuff. And then on top of that, they put an element of sports. So you'll see different types of sport elements, from some of the strongman stuff, from powerlifting to even some things you may see in football, from pushing sleds and dragging sleds. And then they put that all together, and they don't randomize it. What they do is they vary the workout such that your body does not adapt
Right.
to what's happening. And so it allows you to keep going longer and things of that sort. So CrossFit is more about building your work capacity and your functional fitness. So the things they're training you in, it can be translated to just real world living, from the ability to get over and under objects, to move objects. I mean, we're always going to do that, from
Right.
groceries to
Right.
hopping fences, hopefully for legal reasons. We're not breaking no laws or anything like that. We're not running from the police. All right, I don't want to see anyone talking about Donald said. If I do this, I can run from the police. But
But we will hop a
fence.
sometimes you got to
Listen, I didn't have to hop a fence a couple times, so I know about it. Like,
I know
I'm
about
sure.
it for sure.
In law enforcement, I was hopping fences.
Yeah,
So.
it's exactly, right? The ability
So-
to get up and get over and get down quickly,
Yes.
safely, and fast, right? A lot of those things are translated from CrossFit and functional fitness, for sure.
And you gotta be fit,
Yeah.
like straight up.
fit.
Yeah, so I think it's very important.
Yeah.
So you have an event coming up. Tell us about the event.
Yeah, so this is something that kind of came out of randomness one day, just at Conversation Gym. It's called Muscles and Mimosas. And what I do is I open it up to the community. We basically go up, we work out, and then afterwards we just kick back, sip mimosas. Sometimes we break out the beer and stuff like that, because the reality is, even though you're going to go work out, we know you're heading to 50-15. We know you're heading to the turkey leg. We know you're heading out to go. We know you're, like, I see some of you guys. I drive by and I see you. I point you out in line.
Point them out.
So it's like, well, if you're at the gym, you might as well get a few and get going and stuff like that. And those mimosas aren't going to hit you for the cost they may hit you if going somewhere else. So it's like, hey, look, you can get your sweat in, you can feel good about yourself, get those endorphins going, and you get your Saturday, get your weekend kicked off right. So
With a nice mimosa.
or two or three or whatever. Some people even take to-go cups. I'm like, hey, don't let the police stop you. That's not my fault.
So is there a fee?
So the fee is $15.
Okay.
But if you use the discount code FITFAM, on, you can get $5 off, and so registration's until next Wednesday, and then after that we're gonna get it in. So I think we
Y'all
have about
ready?
5 or 6 spots left, and let's go for it.
Fit Fam
Yeah.
at Spectra. Tell them the
Yeah, tell
website.
them, give
Yeah.
us-
So if you head out to Eventbrite and just type
Yes.
in Muscles and Mimosas, you're gonna be able to find that event on there.
Yes, Eventbrite, Muscles and Mimosas. I will be there.
Boom.
The Emerald Hippers, the
Boom.
Queen of
Boom.
well, I ain't the Queen of Wakanda, but I'm gonna be there.
There.
Yeah,
Might
I'm
have to
a
fight
diamond.
somebody or something.
Yes, I'm ready. So I will be there, and it's funny because I called him at the blue. I was like, "Hey, I see you have an event. Can I come?" And once we got to talking, and it's interesting because I want you to tell people your journey with your health because
Yeah.
I think it's important that people have to understand how health and cannabis and sports
Yeah.
and mindset and all of everybody that we've had on this show in one way or another all ties back into
Yeah.
the person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So tell people your journey with your health and
Yeah.
kind of got you to where you are and
For
how
sure.
you support cannabis.
Yeah, definitely.
And
definitely.
why? Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, life has some very interesting twists and turns, but in April 2017, I was
Mhm.
diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, so that's a blood cancer of the lymph nodes. I'm like, where does this come from? And so throughout the summer 2017, I went through chemo, radiation, everything. And confirmed in remission in late August or whatnot. And, through it all, I still managed to, do the corporate thing as a, research engineer, continue to coach my classes, continue to even work out. In fact, my strength increased through a lot of this or whatnot. But, fitness, the way that ties into it is that the way I look at fitness is like making deposits into an account, such that if or when sickness comes upon you, your ability to fight it, right, is there, right? If you have no fitness, no health, no anything, when you get sick, your ability to bounce back is going to be a hell of a lot harder, or your time may just be up. So your time just may be
But
up.
that's a good analogy.
But that's the way I look at it. It's like it's daily pauses, and everyone's going to get sick at some point. All right, it may not necessarily be cancer. It may just be the cold. Maybe it may just be you got some kind of crazy rash. But that's the way I looked at it. And so what really got me onto the whole cannabis scene is I was watching an interview of a gentleman who had a company at the CrossFit Games. And so if anyone doesn't know, CrossFit is very strict when they do these world-based fitness competitions in terms of usage of drugs, performance enhancement substances. And so some gentleman was on here talking about, CBD oil and how it's good for inflammation reduction, other things like that, and how CrossFit was going to allow it. And I said, look, if these guys allow this, then clearly there must be something to it because they are sticklers. I mean, you could have a nanogram of something and you're banned, and so the fact is, so I said, okay, wait, what's going on with this? Because I think when people hear the word cannabis, they instantaneously go to THC. They don't really know, they really don't know what's going on and stuff like this. So it takes you down a path. So I said, okay, let me start researching these things. And so after cancer treatment, you have to go in for a sequence of scans and things like that because they just want to see, hey, are you doing good? Because they want to catch cancer early should you slip out of remission or reoccurrence is what it's called.
Right.
And so on my scans, I kept seeing a lymph node light up, and they're like, well, we're seeing it light up, but we biopsied, there's nothing going on, you don't show any symptoms of it, what's going on? I was like, something's on. So I was like, okay, maybe this is some inflammation thing. I work out a lot, a lot of weightlifting, and so I was like, okay, maybe the MD Anderson's concept of no working out 24 hours in advance, maybe not quite exactly. I don't think they're used to people with 500-pound deadlifts and things kind of coming in. So it may be like, oh, don't go to spin class or something like that. So I said, okay, let me rest more, but then also let me see the effects of CBD oil in inflammation reduction. And ever since I've started that regimen, not only have I recovered well from workouts and things like that, but anytime I show scans, all they're seeing is a decline of the swelling of the lymph nodes or the lymph nodes decreasing and stuff, and it doesn't show any activity. So either there's something magical, or there's something truly to this. And so that's what's led me down a path to CBD. Even my massage therapist, I now get CBD oil massage. what happened, but there's a night and day difference between when you just use your regular massage oil and CBD
And
oil.
when
Like
you-
I feel totally
Yes.
fresh, relaxing, and stuff like that. And so, I use it in a nighttime regimen with melatonin. Wake up, best sleep of my life. So there's clearly, I believe God doesn't make mistakes, and things just don't occur on the planet just by some random, it's not supposed to be there, right? It's not like, oh, we don't need this plant, we're gonna throw it out. And I think that just there's this taboo culture of, well, everyone thinks that everyone's hanging out listening to Wiz Khalifa albums and stuff like that.
you might be,
you
but
may be,
still.
but still, there's an entire world of how this can affect, and even with cancer, how
Right.
CBD and even THC can help with nausea and the effects of chemotherapy or even appetite issues. 'Cause a lot of people
Right,
just
'cause
don't
they
have
don't
the
wanna
hunger,
eat.
they don't want to eat,
Exactly.
and you've got to eat to fight this stuff.
You have to.
And stuff like that. So there's a world out there where the cancer community and the world of the cannabis community come definitely together seamlessly.
And one of the things that we talk about is how important sleep
Yeah.
is
Absolutely.
to healing also.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you look at the benefits of using just CBD, we're not even going to talk about the other cannabinoids
Yeah.
that help with, like you said, nausea, inflammation, diabetes, heart. I mean, you have a whole list of things, but when you just look at what CBD alone,
Yes.
in full spectrum,
Right.
you understand, can do for your body just on a daily basis, just a daily regimen. A lot of the issues that people will see, they will start to decline if you use them on a consistent basis. And then the other thing is change your diet,
Yeah.
because you can't want to be better and not
Right.
eat
Change your
better,
habits.
but then you want to work out and think because you're going to
Absolutely.
the gym. But
hit the gym and hit Chick-fil-A. Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah,
say that
the
because
waffle fries.
But the thing is that you really have to look at you have to take a bigger picture out of all of it when it comes to your health. And even for myself, I had to look at everything in total. And when you stop and take account of all of it and try to get it in check, it drives you.
Yeah.
And it puts you in places that you never, like I'm telling you, when you living on a full level where your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit is all in one,
Yeah.
you feel better.
Oh, you
Great.
feel better.
Amazing.
And
And your
then when you
diet is
do-
very important.
Exactly.
It's
And
very
if you
important.
do get sick, you can bounce back a
Bounce
lot
back.
quicker because you giving your body
Yeah.
substance,
Yeah.
correct substance that it needs to get on
Yeah.
and heal. Healing. Like, and
Yeah, but
healing, working
that's
out is
true.
good for
That's true,
healing.
yeah.
Because the other thing is, like, I noticed after all the surgeries that I had, the first thing they told me was get up and move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Get up and move.
Yeah.
And do you realize how just important getting up and moving is? Just
It's
to-
very important.
Very important, because
Yeah.
I didn't want to move. It was some days, y'all. Listen,
Hey, I
if
know.
I could have put myself on a dolly and scooted around
Yeah.
the house, but that was that willpower.
Yeah.
And you have to want that to do better.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you this though. So for someone that is about to get into CrossFit, what are some like preliminary advice you would give them?
Check your ego at the door.
Oh.
I
For
you know,
real.
'cause I know some people, walk in, and they played high school football 20 years ago, and they still, got that jacket they can't put on, that Letterman jacket still tight. But honestly, it's enjoy the process of what's happening. Like, take everything you know. All right, and it's good to be knowledgeable. We love people
Right.
that are knowledgeable that come from various sports because it'll help them. But it's like enjoy the process, accept humility. Don't compare yourself to who is in the gym. People feel they got to hit it 5, 6, 7 times a week. It's like, no. Listen, if your body says, look, I'm not feeling good, I feel like crap, like, hey, stay home, get some rest, because I'd rather have you with a day of rest,
Yep.
performing at a high level than you coming in and you're running on fumes. So it's like, listen to the body, eat clean, and just do you when you come in. Just do you.
So describe, because I've been there. Describe for the people what it's like when they get to Spectra and
Yeah.
get ready to start that workout, because it's not normal.
No AC.
Let's start with the fact that it's you don't get no heat or no cold. Like you just
you're at the mercy of the elements. I mean,
Yeah.
it's we were talking about your ancestry. All of our
Right.
ancestors they faced the elements, whether it was hot, cold,
Yep.
rainy, whatever. And so now
Mhm.
magically we're too good. We need AC. We can't go in the rain. We can't do
talk
any of that.
about it.
And so you're at the
Yeah,
mercy
we-
of the elements. So if it's 95 degrees in Houston, Texas, you're looking about 100, 102 degrees inside the gym. So
In the gym.
with the humidity sitting thick, so one, you've got to be hydrated. You've got to come in. So there's a mental. You're in a sauna essentially
Yep.
working out. But the way we do is we take you through the warm up, and the warm up is more than just to get you hot and get you loose. It allows us as the coaches to observe maybe some issues that may be in your movement, some things we need to scale you back. It may even be you're just lacking in wind. So the
Right.
goal is not to kill you. Right, you know, there's tons of
You know
trainers.
you gonna feel like it.
The goal is not to kill you or whatnot. Like that's not the ego of us. We want you to have a great experience. We want you to walk and go, man, that was tough, that was good, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I don't want to come back. You don't want to wake up the next day, I can't move a single muscle in my
Right.
body,
No,
or I've
yeah, you
got
don't have that.
rhabdomyolysis and the muscle is broken down and now I'm in the emergency room. It happens.
Okay, it happened.
And things of the sort. So what we do is we ask the questions. Hey, you know, what do you do currently? Are you very active? Are you more of a runner? Are you a lifter? When's the last time you stepped into the gym? You know, for some of the ladies, hey, do you have children? How old are they? We want to know things about that because the body changes after motherhood and things like that.
And I'm glad you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I'm glad
and
you
so
brought that up.
yeah, and so we ask those because those specifics will affect how your training goes.
Right.
Or whatnot. And so, you know, we may ask some very personal questions sometimes, but we want to know because we want you to have a great, we don't want you to go, oh crap, something is bothering me. And I'm like, well, we didn't know that. Or whatnot.
Right,
So we
right.
take you through, warm you up. We expose you to, if we're doing some kind of strength, we may not have you do exactly what our athletes have been coming for years of doing.
Right.
We're going to give you something big because we have to build base. It's just like learning how to cook. I promise you, no one woke up and learned how to make a lasagna. Let's just try boil some water first.
Okay.
Right. And then let's just,
With some salt.
right. With some salt. And right. And so we just build your base. It's just like bit by bit, we're putting in the piece together. You know, I
Right.
tell a lot of some of my newer athletes is it's like a statue. When you are building a statue, you're not taking this little hammer and chisel and ting ting ting. You're taking a sledgehammer and knocking out the big pieces.
Right.
And then as time goes, we're smoothing out and we're creating the defining moments that make the statue what it is. So that's our process we take. We're not trying to throw you in the fire. Like, we're just going to slowly turn the heat up on you. We don't need you jumping boiling water. It'll get hot eventually.
Listen, so this is one of the things I'm glad you just talked about on how you said we're going to kick it up a notch, trim off a little bit, because some people think they can target certain areas of their bodies
Yeah.
to lose weight.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I had a personal trainer, first thing he said was put a stick of butter in a skillet and see how it melts. A stick of butter doesn't melt in a straight line.
No.
It doesn't melt
No.
cross in a perfect square.
No, it
it
does
melts
not.
off a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side, a little bit from the top, a little bit from the bottom.
That's
Next thing
right.
you know, your whole pan is full of
Yeah.
cholesterol. But the point is, but the point is like you have to get out that mindset that you can target arms or you can
Correct.
just target
Right,
your
right,
abs or
right.
your. And the other thing is, I want you to talk about the women that
Uh-huh.
come to your location. Because let me tell you something. Some of those women can make, I no offense, but they make some of these men look bad. They are in there
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Doing it.
You
You're
know,
in better
the-
shape.
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah,
You know?
no, the women we have in our gym are such an amazing group.
Yes.
They, you know, no one really walks in with that, I don't want to lift weights and that's going to make me bulky and all that. Like, we don't really have that culture there. And we have, you know, women that are strongman athletes. We have women that are power lifters, women that just do the CrossFit things. And it's amazing to see some of the things they do. It's great to see them walk in and they're at this weight and then we do a strength cycle and then they're here and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, and it's just, it's crazy. And
Yes.
so, you know, it's funny sometimes because, you know, a lot of guys walk in and every guy thinks he is Superman. We all think it until you see Superwoman.
Check it out.
Or whatnot
Go
like that.
hard.
And so I'll tell some of the guys, hey, go squat with her, and they're like, oh, whatever. And then you get going there like, that got heavy really fast. I was like, yes. I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
she's super strong. And so we actually had a competition at our gym, and I wanted to see who could lift the most weight in the week, the men versus the women, and the women won.
Say that again for
The women won. They beat the guys. They beat the guys. They edged them by 2 pounds, but they beat them. I mean, they showed up. They were like, we are not going to, we're not going to lose this, and they got them. I mean, they are extremely hard.
They some badasses.
They really are some
Yeah,
badasses.
they are,
Every single
because-
one was a badass.
They're
Listen,
really
because I went
competitive.
to an event he had,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm just gonna go and support.
Yeah.
And like these women, like I
Did you work out?
I support it. I
Yeah.
support it. Like,
Okay.
seriously.
Okay.
Because, but no, Because, and I'm gonna tell you, because like when I got there, and we just thought it was gonna be a regular workout session day, and they were actually having an event that was like where it was like timed events and stuff, and I was like, we didn't come prepared for this one today, but we're gonna support y'all. So we stayed and supported. But the other thing that I love about the atmosphere there is that you don't meet strangers. Everybody that you, after their first 5 or 10 minutes into their workout, we know each other perfect. We perfectly well. Like, I may not know your name,
That's really
but
important, though. You know,
it is.
to feel
It
comfortable
is.
when you're working out, when you don't quite maybe reach your goal. You know,
Right.
you have friends who are going to support you and say, we'll try one more time,
And they
or
do.
maybe try this
Yeah.
next time.
They
you
do.
know?
And don't let the size of some of these people fool you.
No,
Because
no,
they
no.
may be
Size
a
matters
certain
not.
size,
No,
but
no,
their
no,
strength
no,
kicks
no.
in, and
Yeah,
it's like brute.
Yeah.
Like, where you
The
like,
nitrous
where that
oxide.
come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets
It's
real.
like they get especially when that second wind kick in.
Oh yeah, it's a
That
That
wrap.
second
It's a
wind
wrap.
is a good deal.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the things that you want people to know about CrossFit, about Spectra, about cannabis? Like, just this your, you got, just go in on
Just
it.
go.
Just go ham.
All right.
Go ham.
That's when I have DJ kick a beat up freestyle. No, I'm kidding. No,
You
no,
don't
no,
want
no,
no play?
no, 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 no. Y'all don't
We
want no
can
smoke.
do it,
Y'all
I'm
don't
ready.
want no
All
smoke.
it
No
takes
pun
is a
intended,
little
no pun
beat.
intended. Nah. So,
Okay.
you know, when it comes to the world of CrossFit, functional fitness, things like that, you know, anybody can do it. I've trained clients as old as 70 years of age. You know, it's all about the structure of what we do at Spectra. I can't speak for other gyms. I can only speak for mine. We meet you where you are.
Right.
All right. And then along the way, we start to set expectations. Those expectations for some may be greater and some may not as high, not necessarily because we have low expectations, but if you're saying, hey, I'm a former Division I athlete, we've got a few of those in the gym, it's like, I have an expectation you can do some things just because we're going to access the inner athlete within you. If you're going, hey, look, I've never picked up a weight in my life. All right, we're going to do these things, and then along the way, we start making the tasks and stuff like that. One thing I pride, you know, the gym on is we are an extremely diverse gym. When you go in, you know, that gym is at least 99% all, you know, Latino, African American. You know, we got Filipino cats. We've got everybody in there, and so it's very interesting because it's a gym where, you know, not only does everyone just feel comfortable in their own skin, but we're able to, you know, the conversations we have are not just about fitness. It's about, you know, things that are going on in politics, things that are going on in culture. You know, we have this ability just to interact and talk. And it's, you know, it's kind of funny. I was talking with some of my Latin athletes, and I was talking about how black people make tacos. And it started off from like, you know, Facebook or whatever, and I was like, hey, this, you know, I made tacos growing up, and they're like, oh, no. But it was just kind of cool. You can have that and stuff like that. And even things from like the music, like, hey, look, we're not playing, you know, Sweet Home Alabama. You're going to get some Megan Thee Stallion. You're going to get some Latin tunes. You're gonna, you know, hear the sounds of H-Town. It's gonna be, you're gonna almost feel like, you know, you're partying up and stuff like that. We want people, we want to try to create the best hour of the day. We already know that, you know, life is, you know, kicking our butts. We already know we got issues with family. We got issues with other relationships and things of that sort. So, you know, the goal is to try to, you know, cultivate that. So, you know, even when it's just the simplest of things go the furthest. You know, like my AM class, you know, I make Vietnamese coffee. They love it, right? And, you know, but, you know, the fact that, hey, you know, we got coffee after this workout is really cool. Or even I show up some Saturdays and there's the big picture of the mimosas. People are like, man, this is great, you know. And it's just like it's you know, we allow people to just, you know, be themselves and do it, and we also allow them to communicate to us, communicate to me some things that, you know, they may see some, you know, rooms for improvement. I'm always open to criticism, so they really, it's really a place where you get a chance to cultivate and shape the gym and shape the experience of, you know, the gym and stuff like that. And so no one's voice is never not heard, no matter how big or small you may think it is. Like, we hear everything you say, we hear everything, and not only do we hear it and process it, but we actually go act upon it and things of that sort. So that's how we get down.
So tell the people about like some of the services that you offer. I know you all do the hydroponic, the floating.
The hydrostatic testing.
So tell them about some of the things that you all offer, and then we'll go ahead and let you tell people how to contact you, where the location is, and any more events you have coming on. Sure,
definitely. You know, so we have an assortment of tests. So we started eventually with hydrostatic testing. That's basically submerged in water, where we measure body composition, break down your water, fat, muscle content, and bone content. But now we've actually moved to the world of DEXA scans, whatnot. That's a little bit less invasive. You know, some people don't like the idea of water. Some, you know, people don't like submersion and things like that. Some people need to be baptized, but that's another, that's another story. We're not gonna talk about that. But no, we moved to DEXA scan. But also, you know, we do offer some, you know, personal training. You know, some of my coaches, they definitely, you know, if they want, they can have their own clients. Some people I do train, you know, that come, you know, from other gyms or that work with some specific things, you know, athletes that may need work with particular things. You know, I have some athletes that may want to work on snatch or some of the lifting, or there's some people I reach out to and I'm like, hey, look, you know, I'm not trying to knock your game, but I think I can help you a little bit with your squat. I can help with some of your positioning.
Right.
So I do some private coaching. Also, you know, when it comes to designing workouts, everyone can't get to the gym.
Right.
So there, you know, people that I have, you know, as far as Florida, you know, up in Oklahoma, that I write and tailor their workouts for, just because they're like, hey, look, give me the time frame. Tell me what you're trying to do. Some people like, I only got 30 minutes. I was like, oh, you're gonna pay. But we're gonna give it to you or whatnot like that. So definitely, and so far as the whole, you know, cannabis thing, I think people need to open their minds. They need to stop letting what the previous generation has imposed upon them in thoughts of cannabis and what it is or isn't. You know, I think people hear cannabis and they think, man, even when people see me, because I'll display the CBD products I use, and they're like, Donald, are you like overly getting high? I was like, first of all, right, the Fed's watching. And I said I'm not over here like no. I was like I got like a whole life job, everything in a business. I'm not over here doing. I was like, no, CBD is totally different, but people are so curious about it.
Right.
But they hear CBD and they think, well, CBD is a cannabis product, and all cannabis products
Get
make
you
you high.
Right.
And they're not, and no one knows this. I had to go research all this for myself because essentially I was just like, okay, this one thing, and oh, this must mean this or whatnot, and all of a sudden I'm following down a path of just something someone else made up, something no one else knows about. So when you start uncovering any kind of knowledge for yourself, all of a sudden you start to learn a lot of things you didn't know. And there's more than just CBD and THC. I mean, there's an entire just, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, so it's, I think as people, as scientists and stuff start to dive into this and people, it becomes less taboo.
Right.
Then folks, I think, will start taking advantage of it, and people won't start, you know, feeling ostracized. Cause I tell people like, this is what I do. I'm not sure. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm not out here, you know, higher than a satellite or anything like that. This is, I'm telling you from my personal experience, not only as a cancer survivor, but as a strength and conditioning coach, that this one thing translates to different areas of my life, and it's multi-use. So that's my thing. So I always tell people, and you know, it's like, hey, it's not like, you know, the don't do drugs commercial. Hey kid, want to try something? You know, it's like, no, do your research for you, right? See how this could or cannot apply to your life. Right? Try it. If you don't like it or you don't feel that it's helping your life, then it may not be for you. Your body may not be responsive to it, or maybe you just need to get a better product, right? Because that quality stuff is very big out there. And so I tell people, you know, you ever try, you know, a lot of people hit me up, you know, my parents, you know, they have some issues with pain, they have some issues with sleep, or maybe they're having issues with inflammation. It's like, well,
back into the muscles and mimosas, I'll be there to give them all the CBD information they need.
All the CBD information, we love it.
And products, I'm ready.
All products.
And that's why education is important. I'm glad you brought it. Yeah, I know, because as soon as you said that, I was like,
that is one of the objectives of Green Life Consulting.
Is educate you.
Yeah.
Because when I first started looking into cannabis, it was the same problem. Like I was bumping my head because I'm like, well, where do I go next? So once I figured it out, we was like, we're gonna streamline it.
And it's crazy once you start doing your research. Like there's a company, I forgot what they're called, but they make a hemp oil based lip balm, and it's the only stuff that's ever worked. And you know, I'm not realizing that this is actually a cannabis based product, right? And I've been using this stuff for almost 10 years, and I'm realizing that I've actually been a part of this culture. And it's the only thing, like, you know, like, look, Carmex don't work, Vaseline don't work, Crisco don't work, you know, this stuff. You know, your grandma make you some Crisco, you know, get some of that Crisco. But you know, it's like all of a sudden you start looking and you start realizing what things have, you know, hemp oil and other things of that sort, or even how that's even used for you know, products such as clothing and things of that sort. Like it's very multi-purpose, and you know, people just need to step back, like we said, learn, talk with people, and get people's experience versus you know, listening to what their parents, you know, because parents are, you know, I'm like, first of all, mostly I grew up in the 60s and 70s, so we know you know, at some point something happened,
Right.
right? You know, now so I'm not gonna get too much in that, but it's like definitely go look it up for yourself.
Right.
I mean, we're starting to see the fitness community adopt this more and more, and they're actually starting to move more towards CBD oil and away from things such as fish oil and things and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's because of the quality of fish where they're deriving the oil from. You know, and that makes
Right.
makes a difference. So there's a big world out there. There's a big market in terms of fitness, entrepreneurship.
Yep.
And I think it's going to do nothing but grow. And America might as well get ready because it's coming.
Yes,
It's
it's
coming.
here.
You know, it's here, and it's. I don't think it's going to slow down or stop.
No, because when you look at the geographical legalization of cannabis,
Yeah.
the United States is the only North American country that hasn't legalized.
Yeah.
Right.
So hemp is what I think we're gonna see change that
Mm-hmm.
as we move into the 2020 grow season. Once all the guidelines are out and we have some seeds in the ground,
Yeah.
I think we'll start seeing a shift because of the high utility of hemp.
Yeah.
Then that will open the door for researching, well, how can we incorporate
Mhm.
THC in this, you know, because it's pretty much going to be a situation. We all know, like, the initial phase is going to be whoever can grab it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoever can grab
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
And then once we start going into that, you know, cycle of innovation,
Mm-hmm.
it's then going to be, you know, the laggers. And that's when you see the laggers, and laggers are people like, when a store's been open like 5 years and they still popping, you're like, oh, I'm about to get in it now.
Right.
And then big business is gonna come.
Right.
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 It's done.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
It's done. So
Yeah.
it's very important that people research.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I'm really glad you put that in there.
Yeah.
And find out how you can incorporate it in your life.
Exactly.
And a lot of people do go to the gym. A lot of people are into physical fitness. I think this is real good that you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's helping, you know, break down the stigma and the negative mindset. So we really appreciate what you're doing.
Definitely.
And again, give everyone contact information
Sure.
and the date of the next event.
Okay, definitely. So if you want to reach out to me, you can shoot me an email, donald@spectrastrength.com. You can follow us on Instagram @spectrastrength or facebook.com/spectrastrength. You can also reach us 832-900-9142 if you want to. Or you can just, hey, swing on by. We're located at 10511 Windsor Lane in Stafford, Texas. So that's probably about 10-minute shot from the studio out here on the southwest side. And if you have any questions, whether it's just about, you know, fitness, or whether it's about the CBD and fitness, or even my cancer journey, you know, I'm actually launching my own podcast called The Undefeated Podcast. Just, talking about life after cancer. I think people hear cancer and think life is over, you're gonna die. First of all, everybody gonna die. And so, but how to live life, you know,
How you
through
gonna
pre and
live?
post, all that. It's like, how do you live your life, right? Because everyone, no matter who you are, you have a certain amount of time. You don't know that amount of time,
Right.
but how do you go do the most with whatever time you have? You may live, 50. We've known people, children that make it one day on this planet, and so that's just the reality of it. And so it's like, go do the most with it. You can't spend the rest of your life just going. You can't wait to expire. You got to go live life, and then when time is up, time is just simply up. So that's one thing I've got going on, because I just kept seeing around the cancer community, everything looks so downtrodden, everything looks so, and I didn't know, my athletes didn't even know I was going through chemo and radiation and stuff like that. And once I told them, I was like, hey guys, I've, for the last couple months been, chemo, radiation, all this, and stuff like that. And they're like, whoa. And I was like, yeah, so that's why I have no mercy when you say you're tired. You don't know tired. You don't know sore. You don't know any of that. Like you've seen me do things that,
A cancer patient should.
a
Should
patient,
not be doing.
right, because even my
Right.
doctors were like, you're doing what again? I'm like, yeah. They're like, we don't know if you should be doing it. I was like, I'm doing it because I can.
You
And
know what
so,
I'm saying?
and actually that's kind of, I'm my oncologist, he's like, Donald, I have the opposite problem with you. I'm trying to get my patients to move, and I'm trying to somehow get you to slow down. And I was like, no, you're not gonna get me to slow down. I was like, no way. I was like, there's no way you're gonna say, it's like, oh, go do some yoga, go for a swim. I'm like, nah, I'm about to go do these heavy back squats, but you can catch with that. So that's just really what I'm big into. So if anyone wants to, just reach out to me on something of that sort, on those different topics, I'd be glad to talk with you. I've had people call me, from, Canada, Atlanta, everything, that just to talk to me about my story. I have no problem telling my story and opening up and showing some different things, and, all the tips and tricks that may help you, get through some of this, or a loved one and things of that sort, because I'm definitely in this fight until, the end of time. So that's how you can reach me. If you want to find me, then, hey, I'm out there.
Okay, so your podcast, has it started or you're about to?
So I recorded my first one. I'm going to launch the episode probably sometime over the weekend,
All right.
Undefeated Podcast. And then, you know, I'll probably do something, you know, every other week. And just so, you know, the first one's just an overview of just kind of, you know, what I gave, you know, about my cancer story. And then I'm going to go through and then break down, right? Not only, you know, what happens, what goes down in the procedures, but what's going down in the mind. And it's okay. I mean, there's moments, I mean, it's like, hey, it's like, you gonna put me out? I'm going to wake up and then, what?
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, but if I can prepare someone for war and they can be ready, versus we're going to send you to the battlefront, you have no idea what's about to come or it may come, then that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, unfortunately, you know, I won't be the last person to have to go up against cancer or whatnot. So if I can help someone in the fight or give someone resources where they can be like, okay, you know, follow this path. We're not saying that my story is going to be your story, but I'm just going to tell you what I did, how I stayed on top of it, the things I did, and then you take, once again, it's just like learning anything. You disseminate that information how you need to for you.
Right.
So that's how I look after it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is such a powerful story.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming. I was so honored.
No, the honor and privilege is mine.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into a short commercial break and we'll be right back. You're tuned to the Green Gold Lounge on Texas101gems.com.
For sure.
Yeah, y'all was waiting. Donald, thank you. Like for real. Dude. Because if you have anything else that you need help with, like for real, like we like, you know what? Our next like regular, we should have him come in and just talk about it from a like we should look into it. 'Cause that's, like we need to start pulling those forms.
For sure. No, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, we need to get a picture before you go.
Oh, for sure.
So, guys, sorry.
Where's Caleb? Bring
Good
your Caleb.
conversation. Go to www.texas101jams.com to get the information for tonight's show.
Tailoring and all
And
that.
listen, if you know somebody who has been diagnosed with cancer, is currently battling with cancer, and they need just a little extra emotional support and somebody to talk to, definitely reach out to Donald. He will be starting his Undefeated podcast, and he's going to be talking and helping people understand the process that you go through to dealing with cancer. So I highly encourage you guys to check out his podcast. And I'm about to go off. And are we making our announcement? Oh, okay. So we're gonna make another announcement, and then we're gonna be back. But anyway, so yes, Mr. Donald, guys, he's awesome.
Thank
Stay tuned. We're bringing y'all the good stuff. But now we got to make Drone. Drone, we just like, hey.